the Concord Coalition has always been an advocate for balancing the budget. Well, who would have thunk we're dealing with a $2.2 trillion uh, deficit for this year in order to cover these costs that are being created by this pandemic. And that is added on to the $21 trillion debt that this country is carrying. Well, that makes, in my mind, the years ahead of us are going to be all the more necessary for us to work doubly hard to find ways to ultimately reduce that debt and to bring down that deficit. But right now we have to care for people who are in dire need. They have no money, they have no ability to support themselves. The hourly wage earners, the people who work in the service industries like restaurants and other establishments like that. I mean, all of those businesses were basically shut down by the government, and the government rightfully said, look, we will help you through this rough period, we will take care of you. But when we come out of the other end of this, what are we going to do? How are we going to address the generosity and the sensitivity that the government showed to put us back in a place where everybody can become prosperous and everybody can become productive again? And that's going to be, I think, a real challenge, not just for the Concord Coalition. It's going to be a challenge for everybody.
Yeah, no, you make some great points there, Ambassador, especially with what needs to be done now in terms of the measures, how government should respond, how the public should respond. You're right in saying that Concord has always advocated for fiscal responsibility, and at times that has meant advocating for a balanced budget. At times that has meant just better long-term decision making. But right now, the deficit, in a sense, is not irrelevant, but we need to make the tough choices to reach out to our neighbors, to reach out to businesses, and then figure out how to pay for it on the back end. And we're certainly not to the recovery portion of this discussion yet. And a lot of the things you mentioned certainly indicate that we're going to have a much broader, broader and detailed, as if that weren't a bit ironic in saying that, policy discussion on how we want to handle key programs and the generational impact of some of these decisions we're making now and some of the decisions we failed to make leading up to this.